am up on the first floor of the chateau in the most central room. We had some very exciting news and we launched an incredible collaboration with FARROW for the Purnon Papers, which is a collection of 5 wallpapers inspired by 5 wallpapers that were discovered here. And one of those papers we have selected to hang in this very room. This wallpaper is just so beautiful, and to think that it came from the chateau and is now going to hang back on the chateau walls like 250 years later. I can barely get my head around it. What an incredibly emotionally charged moment and room for me, really, to think that this stunning wallpaper was designed 2 centuries ago, abandoned, discovered here at Purnon 2 years ago, and brought back to life by FARROW and now hanging on the chateau walls. It's just such an incredible journey that this wonderful design has been on, hung with the patience that only a father could have for his daughter, and a legacy that we hope will be enjoyed for centuries to come. We are working with the original 18th century burlap backing. So the burlap, then a backing paper, and then the wallpaper. So where we're up to now with this room is our architect has designed a Louis XVI library, and so this is currently being made, and the next step will actually be some plaster work done on the ceiling, some electricity put through for the lighting, and then the installation of this incredible library. That was one of the most satisfying jobs I have done since arriving here, and the transformation of this room is really taking shape. But while we're up here, there's something else I wanted to show you, and it's one of the reasons that we love this room so much. And it's not actually inside the room itself, it is behind me here, because this room gets the most magnificent view of Purnon's Grande Allée. So you may may remember that about 2 years ago we installed the heating system, and we were very excited about when the day might come that we would finally have heating on the first floor. Well, that day has come. I wish you guys could feel how warm this is. It's beautiful. So nice.
It's beautiful.
Oh, heat, what a joy. This is our future bibliotech. We have been waiting a long time for this. Day one of painting the bibliotech, we are going to do our first undercoat with FARROW and balls, wood, primer and undercoat in mid-tones. Day two of painting the bibliotech, and it is time to use our favourite colour, lamp room grey, in the dead flat finish, and I think we massively underestimated the amount of work. Day three of painting the bibliotech. Day four of painting the bibliotech, and we are making great progress. For the contrast colour, we are using Pavilion grey. For the skirting boards, we use off black. And remember, these colours are an exact match to the original paint colours that were used in this room when it was first painted 250 years ago.
Day 5 of the painting of the bookcases. The end is thankfully in sight. And this is where those epic bookcases will go.
The most exciting delivery I think that we have ever received at the Château has arrived.
Wow.
Aren't they incredible? recently Tim and I found a carpet that we really loved at an antique fair. It was in a car park in the middle of a storm. It was raining, it was muddy and in really sad condition, but we loved it so much and it's a perfect size for this room. So we got it home and called our friends at KÄRCHER and said, SOS help, this carpet needs to be cleaned. And so here we are with Pavilion from KÄRCHER who has come today to help us. Et aujourd'hui, le procès pour nettoyer le tapis, c'est quoi?
Alors le procédé, on va dérouler une bâche pour protéger le parquet. On va mettre le tapis dessus. Ensuite, je vais l'aspirer, comme à chaque fois avant de nettoyer, avec l'aspirateur poussière. Ensuite, je vais prendre ce qu'on appelle chez nous un Puzzi. Donc ça, c'est le Puzzi 10-2. Je vais mettre de l'eau claire à l'arrière avec une solution détergent. Je vais pulvériser la solution de nettoyage tout au long du tapis. Je vais laisser agir à peu près une dizaine de minutes. Et après, je vais aspirer derrière.
There's about 70 to 80 shelves that need to go into place. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. Well, what a remarkable transformation. It started life as a bedroom, and when we arrived, a pretty sorry looking bedroom at that. It's now this wonderful library with this salon that we can enjoy with family and friends, and there are so many people that we want to acknowledge. Hun, I want to start with you. I know you've put your heart and soul into creating this space, and you've just seen the video from the work on the ceilings down to the floors, the wallpapers hung with love, you with your father Ian and your cousin Amanda. Just every detail in this space has been addressed with such care. So full credit to you, and I hope in years to come, as we enjoy this space, you reflect on just how much work went into creating it in the first place. Now, we should also acknowledge our extraordinary heritage architect, Frédéric Didier. So much of what we do here at Château de Purnon is about preserving and conserving and restoring, but what you can see behind us with the bookcases is obviously about creating, and he designed these bookcases with such care. He evoked not just the spirit of the 18th century, but the spirit of the chateau itself, with all of the design motifs from the wood panelling on the cupboards through to the architraves. Every element is exactly matching the elements that were already found in this room. And I think when you look at the results, really they speak for themselves. So a big thank you to Frédéric Didier, but also to the team at Métier de Bois, our carpenters. You saw the work they did in their workshop. It took weeks of work, and then weeks, much longer than they expected, to install them here at the Chateau. We know exactly how many pieces there are because we had to paint them, but they've just done such a great job and shown such care in recreating it all. And so really this room, when we arrived, it was a bedroom. We didn't want to keep it as a bedroom because it didn't have the capacity for an ensuite facility connected with it. It's in such a great location at the top of the staircase with this wonderful view through this window straight down the barrel of the Grande Allée. We wanted it to be more than a bedroom, and I think when you look at the transformation now, you can see that it really is so much more. And I know, Hun, there's some people that you want to acknowledge.
Yeah, this room really would not have been possible without the generous support of our partners. And so we would like to say a huge thank you to SmartStrip, who supply the product that means that we can safely remove the lead paint. We have lead paint everywhere, and in this room we had it on the ceiling, and so we used SmartStrip to safely strip that lead paint off the ceiling. We would also like to say a huge thank you to KÄRCHER, who at the very last minute, just before Christmas, when we found a rug for this room, came to our rescue to clean the rug. This rug was very dirty and very smelly, and so they arrived with the Puzzi 10-2 spray extraction cleaner, which gives a really deep clean into fibres, and you could see from the colour of the water that came out after the carpet was cleaned that it is so much cleaner, and of course it doesn't have that terrible smell to it anymore. A huge thank you to CORSTON, our friends at CORSTON, who we have used their products in other rooms that we have restored here at the Chateau. We just love their products. And here in this room for our light switches, we use their clear plate, which means that you can see the wallpaper through the light switch, and it just is such a beautiful result. We also use their power sockets in bronze, and for the power socket in the skirting board of the new bibliotech, it is actually recessed, and so the plate is flush with the skirting board, and we've used it in bronze, and so it has this really lovely matte finish, just as the paint on the skirting boards. But the real highlight product from CORSTON in this room are the beautiful picture lights that sit on top of the bibliotech. These are their Taylor picture lights, and we just love them. And so a huge thank you, CORSTON, for partnering with us on this room. And of course, our friends at FARROW. This room has been such an emotional journey for us, because hanging the wallpaper in this room is the wallpaper that inspired the Purnon Papers collection. This is the namesake paper Purnon. It was discovered here in an attic of the Chateau. And so to have this paper back on the Chateau walls is really something very, very special for us. And we have used the Purnon Papers in 4 other rooms. And so it's wonderful to have wallpapers that were original to the Chateau that are now hanging back on the Chateau walls. And of course, we have used FARROW paints in this room as well. Pavilion grey, lamp room grey, and off black back on the skirting boards. These are an exact match to the original 18th century colours that were discovered in this room, and we use them in a dead flat finish, which gives that lovely chalky finish.
And that brings us to the furniture that we're sitting on. So this furniture was a gift of Philippe de la Brière. Now, who is Philippe? Well, Philippe is the cousin of our good friend Christiane de Journiac. Now, for those of you who've read our book, Château Reawakening, you may recall that Chris and Christiane de Journiac are the couple who each year at their chateau host Shakespeare in the Park. It is the social event of the year in Haute-Poitou, and so we're thrilled that Christiane's cousin Philippe donated this restoration era setting to us. So that means it comes from that period in French decorative history from about 1814 to 1830. It's been passed lovingly through 7 generations and it's arrived here at Château de Purnon, and in a way it mimics the story of the chateau itself. We are just the custodians of the chateau, and we are in the same spirit the custodians now of this wonderful piece of furniture, and we hope that Philippe and his family and the de Journiacs, when they see it sitting here at Purnon, feel that wonderful connection to French history through their family that we feel every day through the work that we're doing here at Purnon. Now, of course, it's a library, so it's all about the books. And if you're interested in learning more about the books here on the shelves at Purnon and in the collection here at the Château, please tune in to this week's exclusive Patreon and YouTube members video. We will explore this extraordinary document. It's a catalogue, an index of all of the books in the library at Purnon from 1854. We discovered it wedged between 2 books abandoned here at Purnon when we first arrived. We'll be exploring some of the volumes in this catalogue that we've been able to uncover here. There are some other wonderful tomes that are on the shelves now that we can't wait to share with you. We're going through a process of indexing and cataloguing all of the books that we've found here. There's so much work still to do. Thankfully, there's still space on our shelves to accommodate the books as we work through them. But if you're interested in that, please sign up for Patreon or as YouTube members with Patreon access, and you can enjoy those exclusive videos.
Well, when we arrived here, babe, we had 105 rooms that we needed to restore. We have now done 11, which means that we have 93 rooms left to go.
Well, here we go. Let's get to it.
Yep. So that's it from us this week. And as always, if you would like to follow the restoration of Château de Purnon more closely, we post an exclusive weekly video for our YouTube and Patreon members. We post frequent updates on all our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Otherwise, just hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and we will keep you updated here. See you next week.